to Modern Monks episode. Not sure what we're up to at the moment, but we've been out of the game for a little while. We're going to start jumping back into it with some shorter spurts, 15 to 20 minutes, so you can wrap your head around stuff in bite-sized chunks. But also just because we think it's easy to absorb smaller bits and not listen to us ramble about pointless shit. But welcome back. It's good to be back having a chat with the big man. Well, not that we ever stopped chatting, but now we're recording it again.
Yeah.
So today we wanted to have a bit of a chat about people and their barriers that pop up. So a lot of the things that we get in the people service are barriers with cost, time, permission from partners or people around them, socio-economic stuff, so on and so forth. So just your normal stuff that comes up, like, oh, I don't have time to do this because I've got to do this. So we want to have a look at the mindset of changing that and seeing how it feels for you. If instead of saying I don't have time, for instance, to come to the gym, we want you to change that framing and think about, well, it's not a priority for my physical health right now. And just seeing what kind of ownership or what kind of lens that gives you to look at moving forward. It's something that we both come across a lot in both our professions, and we just want to dive more into the psyche of what that is, because it's something that we personally look quite deeply into. I'll let E go first because he spends a lot of time reinvesting in himself with courses and things like that, and then to get comments like, oh, I can't afford this, I can't afford that, and the understanding just isn't there for certain things and why stuff isn't a priority. So we wanted to dive into that today, and maybe you guys can throw some insights at us in the comments or in our inbox.
Yeah.
So
because it really is a two-way street. Like, the more I think about it, when you talk about an idea where you say, okay, it's not, it's just not a priority, as opposed to I just don't have time or I can't afford it. It's just I don't prioritize this right now. Obviously, there's extremes where you're like, oh, this thing is 25 grand, and you're like, well, I've only got $7, and someone's just like, oh, it's not a priority for you, bro. You're like, I legitimately only have $7.
yeah, I'd love to, but I've got $7 in my pocket.
We're talking about more of that stuff that you can take ownership for, that we both, at differing points, and particularly even for myself right now, is that I'll have this breakdown between being like, I almost just forget about shit. I almost just forget that this is a value that I have, or this is something that's important to me. So I get that sometimes in life there's periods of time in which something's not a priority because you're thinking about other things, and that's all right. But I think it's always important that you have like a core crux of things that you go, these are my non-negotiables in life. Like, if you don't prioritize your health, you don't prioritize your fitness, you don't prioritize your mental headspace and your mindset and all these things, is like, as soon as shit hits the fan, those things suffer straight away.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like one little bit of adversity, and then someone doesn't come back to the gym for 3 months, and you're like, whoa, like, what happened to this person?
Yeah.
Or in treatment, someone's like, oh, I'm running late, I'm stuck at work, I can't get to your acupuncture session, I'm really sorry, I've got to cancel, and I'll call you back to rebook, and you never hear from these people again. And it's fascinating, is like, you just get one thing that happens that means so much, that suddenly all of your priorities, all of your values, all the things that you hold as virtues for yourself just suddenly disappear.
Yeah, and it comes back to the importance of habit too, because once you break a habit and you fall back into the rut that you're previously in, it's very hard to get back out of that a second time. Yeah. And it happens time and time again, and people are like, oh, I hurt my knee and now I can't do this and I can't do that. Well, it's like, yes, you can. You can work around it. Like, we have people that come in with injuries, and we just modify exercises and everything like that. So if you want to work around an injury, you will work around it.
Yeah.
But if you want to use that as an excuse to not do something, then you're going to do that as well.
Yeah.
And the other big thing is, like, everyone always thinks that, time is a real big one. Time is a real big resistance for people. They go, I don't have time. But then if you jump into your phone and you go into your phone use, like how long you're on your phone for every day.
Yeah.
And if that's more than 2 hours and you're not running a business or something from your phone, you've got time enough to get your ass to the fucking gym. You know what I mean? Like, people spend so much time locked into a screen or locked into, the TV is still a screen, but locked into doing something that is fully meaningless, but then they don't have time to go and do half an hour, go for a walk for half an hour, or go for a swim for half an hour, or go get outside in the fresh air, meditate for half an hour, whatever it is. People then say they don't have time, but they've got time to sit and meaninglessly scroll through everything that they want to do.
Yeah.
Or they've got time to, jump online and watch YouTube videos about how they can make their life better but never put it into action.
Yeah.
Like, how you spend your time is how you'll start using your time religiously. It all becomes part of a habit.
Yeah.
And the thing that we wanted to touch on today is just maybe in your day-to-day, if you change the word or the framing of I can't afford, or I don't have the time, or I can't right now because, change it to, look, it's not a priority for my health, it's not a priority for my fitness, it's not a priority for my job, it's not a priority for this, I'd rather do this, and see how that makes you feel.
Yeah.
Like, jump on and, put it to the test. You'll know straight away if you feel guilty about it that you're doing the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And that's just human nature.
Yeah. But the goal being, it's also okay if something's not a priority for you right now. If you're okay with that, that's fine.
That's it.
No one's holding a fucking gun to your head.
That's the indicator.
Yeah.
If you legitimately go, do you know what? And I fully get it. I used to try and train for 4 to 5 hours a day, and now that's not a priority.
Yeah.
Because I'd rather spend my time doing other stuff, like playing with my kid, being a better husband, and making sure the house is cleaner and tidier, and making sure my business is running. So my training and my physical health has had to take a little step backwards. I still train a lot more than most people would, but not as much as I would like to.
Yeah.
But it's legitimately not a priority, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
And that's how you tell. If you know that you're doing the right thing for the right purpose, then the priority thing won't matter. If you legitimately know that you can't afford to splash 80, 100, 120, 50, whatever it is, dollars on a thing, then don't fucking spend it.
Yeah.
Don't be guilted into spending it, but know why you're not doing it. Don't just go, I can't afford it. Go, no, I'd rather spend my money on some fucking good food than, coming and doing a week at Ghetto or whatever it is.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? It's and everyone's been in that situation. It's I can't afford to do. This is the thing. I always get this when it comes to treatment and healing, and I'm the biggest culprit of it too, because I live in this world too. I'm not holier than thou than anything. But people will be like, I can't afford treatment. I'll be like, why can't you afford treatment? Well, we're going on a holiday for 3 weeks in Bali, and I think it's going to be a lot of money. We're taking the whole kids, we're taking everything. It's going to be great. It's going to be all this stuff. And I'm like, it's not that you can't afford treatment. It's just that you just want to go on a holiday. And I respect 100% that people need a break and they need a holiday. But you can't come into clinic, you can't come with the attitude that you need to justify this stuff isn't happening for you, and that there's no other alternative, when your decision is, I don't want to do this because I want to take a holiday for 3 weeks. Do you know what I mean? It's just
and that's the mindset, isn't it? As soon as you go, all right, what is it prioritized underneath?
Yeah.
And you've got to start framing it like that, because coming and getting pins is so great for people. Really balances out the body and gives the body a fighting chance at healing and moving forward physically and mentally. I haven't ever seen someone come out that doesn't look like they've just had the greatest 45 minutes to an hour of their life, and they've just come out super relaxed and super, you can see that they've gone internal.
Yeah.
So the thing is that if you come in and you say, oh, Will, Eamon, I can't afford to do this, or even if it's just the groceries, you go to Macca's for lunch instead of buying something a little bit more fresh and organic. If you use that price indicator as an excuse, you need to start checking yourself and going, I would rather eat shit, or I would rather do this and save money so I can do this, then yeah, sure, justify it that way. If you're cool with it, that's fine. But you have to be clear on what you're doing, because prioritizing a holiday over your physical and mental health may not necessarily be the greatest thing for you. Your money may be better spent somewhere else, or your time may be spent better somewhere else, or you should start taking an extra shift or whatever it is. But prioritizing certain things over others needs to be clear on why you're doing that.
Yeah.
Because we do live in an age where, you know, anxiety, depression, mental health is a really big thing, and it's obviously something we try and check in with quite regularly with each other, especially our male community. But if you're not given that outlet to talk about and clear the air on what your priorities are, then you're going to be fuzzy on that and probably keep making the wrong decisions.
Yeah. And I think the big thing that I want to impart in this one when it comes to values, priorities, and I don't have whatever it is, fill in the blank, is that every conversation that seems to be, it's never about what's happening in the present moment. It's always about something in the future that's happening. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I can't do this because then I have to do this. I can't do this later on. As opposed to, there's no later on. You only have this. If you step out this door, you get hit by a car or whatever, that's it.
Yeah.
There's no, that's the classic thing about a mortgage, which I always find hilarious. And I'm always like up and down. Like I don't have the cash to buy a house, but I was like, and like a mortgage means like, it's like in payments, like more comes from like, it's like Latin for death. You know what I mean? It's like death repayment. It's like this idea that like you just keep continuing and interest and all this stuff, like compounding. It's like you're just carrying loads and pressure of like future things, like future installments, future payments, future things. It's like just do what you can like right now in like the present moment. Like what serves your body, what serves your headspace, your relationship, your emotional center, like right now. And it's always so fucking simple. It's like the classic. The more that you're worried and concerned about the future, or it's a culmination of all the shit things that's happened to you in the past. Like none of that can really help you right now. Like worrying more is not gonna help anything. The only thing's like, okay, what can I do now? It's like, okay, fuck. Well, I got a little bit of energy and I got some time. If I got energy and time, maybe I'll train. It's like I don't have enough energy, but I got some time. It's like, well, maybe I'll cook myself something.
Maybe I'll meditate.
Maybe I'll chill out. Meditate.
Maybe I'll read a book.
Learn something.
There's always avenues around it.
Yeah.
You know, but you have, like the biggest thing that we're saying today is that you have to be honest with yourself why or why not you're doing something, and just be cool with it. Like if you're not being honest with yourself, you're going to call yourself out eventually, or someone else will.
Yeah.
But, you know, think about what's a priority for you right now, how you can move forward, how you can better that. Maybe it makes a difference. Maybe we're just talking shit. Who knows?
Who knows? That's the thing. That's always a funny thing. I know we're going to sign off, and that was a perfect sign-off moment, and now I'm talking and adding stuff to it when you wanted to sign off. But yeah, that idea of something being right for you and not right for somebody else, I think at the end point of that is link that with your value system and your priorities.
Definitely.
Not everyone wants to do like a one-arm handstand. No, not everyone wants to be, I don't want to say optimally health-oriented, like, yeah, in like an ego-sensed way. But like, no one wants their focus to be like, oh, I just fasted for 3 weeks, and everyone's like, cool, like, good for you, bro. But that type of thing is like, find what your values and priorities are for you, that when someone says, oh, you don't do this, and you're like, nah, it's just not me, baby.
Yeah.
I make music and chill out and paint.
And be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Do you?
Do you?
Sweet. Nice one. Good to be back, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Let us know what you think about the shortened content, and we'll see you again, hopefully weekly.